Having the ability and using that ability are two different things. Did the Holy Prophet, for example, did the Holy Prophet knew that, for example, this is poison in front of him? There are two possibilities. One is that he knows it just like me and you would know it, as a common knowledge. One is that he knows it because of the wahi that was given to him, or because of the special knowledge that he has, not because of his common knowledge, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed him of it. Can he now use this not to eat this poison, for example? He can, he has, but does he? Having the ability is one thing and using it is another. Having the ability and going through difficult times. Oh well, he should have used a miracle and prayed to Allah. Ya Allah, the dua of the Holy Prophet is never rejected. He could pray, Ya Allah, send down, Anzal alayna ma'idatan min as-sama, send down a dinner table from the heaven. Wouldn't Allah? He would. Not even using the miracles, just pray and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send down the food. Going through difficult times and avoiding difficult times is not like the Holy Prophet and the holy personalities. The prophets did not avoid those things. They did not use their miracles to combat, okay, I don't want to go through a difficult time. It is a trial for them. So they used those, they faced those trials with open hands, with open arms, and accepted them. They did not wish to avoid them. When they showed the miracles, it was when to prove to the people. You know, for example, his own family when invited, he had a small, just one leg of a sheep, a lamb, and he fed the whole. They said, each one of us eats a whole lamb, and you've just invited us with one. And they ate more than their capacity, but they did not fill their stomachs because that was a time to show a miracle that he is. And at that time, someone started saying, one of his uncles, Abu Lahab, he's a magician, something like that. There is a time to show a miracle. And the miracle, the time is when he wants to prove that he's something. His family members already believed in him. None of them were in rejection. And they were all alone in Abi Talib in Makkah. Outside Makkah, they had been sanctioned and they were thrown out. Shaykh Abi Talib, it is still in Makkah.
Yeah, but you said that you want to prove people. So
he showed them.
Yeah, yeah. So like you said, you'd want to prove them or show to them that look, basically you can't mess around with me. Yeah.
Not you can't mess around.
Because I mean, if you think about it, you'd want to prove to them, look, you can whatever you bring me, I will fight it no matter what. But when you prove to, I mean, the Quraysh would have found out, look, we've sanctioned them, we've got a stronghold on them, yeah? And they've got no food or no water going in or out, okay? They would have known
2.5 years they lived, that's itself a miracle.
But yeah, but then again, some people didn't. A lot of people
They were elderly. His uncle died and his wife, they were elderly. So yes, they were going through a difficult time, but they were elderly. The Holy Prophet himself said that we used to many times just eat leaves and grass. Imam Ali said you could see that our skin had become thin. It wasn't as if they were young boys or something. His uncle was probably in his 80s, 90s. His wife was elderly. She was at least 50, at least, if no more. It's disputed how old she was. So she was quite old. They were elderly people who died. 2.5 years, 3 years almost in just surrounding mountains in a small valley with no cover on, So it's a long period. It's not just 1 or 2 nights. They say they have 1 or 2 months and then they started dying. No, it was 2.5 years, more than 2.5 years. Where they stayed in Shaykh Abi Talib, and there were many other miracles. So it wasn't a time to show miracles. They asked him to cut the moon in half. Yeah. They still did not believe. They were still looking at all the miracles, the kuffar of Makkah. They did not believe the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So they said, we'll only believe in you if you cut the moon in half. So he cut it in half. Abu Jahl started saying, it's only your sight that is seeing 2 halves. He said, if you send one to east and the other one to west, then we'll believe in you. He said, okay, one part go to the east, the other one, Ya Allah, send to the west. He said, oh, everyone return to your houses now. He's a magician. He's performed the biggest magic. Still disbelieved. Today, even now, there was this documentary that I was watching that many of the Muslims have made that when you take the pictures of the moon, there is as if it was sliced right in the middle. And that is the miracle of Shaqqul Qamar. Idha Shaqqatul Qamar, the Surah Qamar talks about it. Surah number 50, 354, something like that. So if you look at those miracles, the people saw the miracles all the time and they still disbelieved in the Holy Prophet. That doesn't mean It's their kufr, it is the practices they have that stop them away from Islam. Even today, when you see many of the people, from one family, many brothers had, many people had become Muslims, and there were still a few brothers from the same family who were still kuffar, Christians. So I asked them, what is it that stops you? Is it the Muslims? Is it the beliefs? Or is it your own practices that you can't leave? He said, I think it is more to do that we can't leave the things that we do. As soon as you say, okay, become a Muslim, praying, and you can't drink, you can't eat this, you can't. He says, those are the things that stop us. And most of the time it is that. It is your own practices that stop the people from coming to Islam. And there are 3-4 parts of this question. I'm not sure if I should be going into it. We discussed it last week, so I'm trying to avoid going back to the things that we already discussed last week. I'll mention the questions, and if there were other questions, we'll answer them. But I would want to avoid these questions. The brother's written in Urdu, says that Hazrat Islam पर तबर्रक किया गया कई सालों तक. क्या ये दुरुस्त है? किन अदवार में तबर्रक किया गया? कौन लोग थे जो ये तबर्रक करते थे? इसकी क्या वजह थी? I had said that the people used to curse Ibn Abi Talib from the pulpits and in Jummah khutbahs. Who did it? Why did they do it? And how long did it last? The Banu Umayyah had started it. Just very brief answers. I don't want to go into this. Banu Umayyah had started it from the time of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, after the battle of Siffin between Imam Ali and Muawiyah, and it continued up to the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, the last Khalifa of the Umayyads. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz who stopped it. He stopped the cursing of Ali ibn Talib in Islam, and it's continued for about 70 years. From around 38 Hijrah to probably something like 100 and something Hijrah. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz's time it stopped. Why did it stop it? Again, there are reasons why it stopped it, and it was the Banu Umayyah who did it. Again, I don't want to go down. We've already covered these things.
Yeah. Any more questions related to today's topic? Any question from ladies?
Yazid was a son. 7,000 Muslims contributed to the slaughter of Imam Hussain, the grandson of the Holy Prophet, approximately 40 years after the death of the Holy Prophet. It was in 61 Hijrah that Karbala happened, half a century after the sad demise of the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet passed away in 11 Hijrah, end of Safar or the beginning of Rabiul Awwal. And Karbala happened in Muharram, 61 Hijrah. So it was 50 years after the sad demise of the Holy Prophet. 30,000. Tabari has written, Tariq Tabari, one of the famous Sunni writer, he has said 30,000 people had attended from the army of Yazid to kill Imam Hussain and his companions. There is a dispute on how many companions he had. Famous is that he himself was with 72 people. Some have said no, 128 people. But nevertheless, some have counted the children with them, and some say no, the adults were 72, or some say children and adults were 72. Nevertheless, anyway, it doesn't make a difference. There were very few, and they were all surrounded and killed in Karbala, in the plains of Karbala, in 61 Hijrah, by Yazid ibn Muawiyah. Why did it happen? Because Imam Hussain did not pay allegiance to Yazid. That was the basic reason. Yazid had sent for the Bay'at. He had told Marwan ibn Hakam, the governor of Medina, and Walid ibn Uqba, these two people who were both from Banu Umayyah, to take allegiance from Imam Hussain to pay allegiance to Yazid. And Imam Hussain refused. He said, "Mithli la yubayi'u mithlah." A person like me would never pay allegiance to a person like